So, you may have heard of Pelotta, you may have seen it. If you go to Spain or France, they love it. It's basically smacking a ball against the wall. It's never really taken off here. There is a kind of Gaelic version. It does very well in Ireland and in parts of the States with kind of an Irish diaspora. They all are properly into the game, but not here until now, because Wallball is getting a bit of traction in the UK.
I'd like to learn more.
Well, it's a very simple sport to play, and here to tell us more about it is the CEO of UK Wallball and NHS doctor. It is Daniel Grant. Good afternoon, Daniel.
Afternoon, guys. How are you doing?
Not bad. It's been a bit of a public school sport here, hasn't it? But it's not really taken off with the masses.
Yeah, the history is really interesting, like you say. Every country's got their own version of hitting balls against walls. And in the UK, we did have a public school version called Fives, but Wallball is totally different. It's more like the Gaelic game, which in New York, there's 2,500 of these courts now, and they're all free to use by anyone, anytime. And that's what we're now doing in London.
How did you become the CEO? Were you a great wall ball player in your time? Are you still a great wall ball player? Or are you just excellent?
Yeah, I like to think that I'm still a great one. Other people on the tour might disagree now, but I got into it as a player. So I was selected for the England team way back in 2007, and then I became the best player in Europe. And as I was quite a selfish player, but as I kind of travelled around and you begin to see what the sport is, I kind of took on a bit of a passion to grow it as a opportunity in the UK as well for more people to get involved.
Part of its joy is its simplicity. So, we probably know the answer to this, but what do we need to play Wallball?
Well, our motto is any wall, any ball, any time. So really you can get going straight away. So to paint you the picture, the regulation game, there's a rectangle on the wall and there's a rectangle on the floor, and you hit the ball with your hands, your right hand or your left hand, and it's just got to hit that wall and land in the court. And then you rally away against someone else, singles or doubles, and whoever wins the point carries on serving, and you keep going to 21. So it's super easy. And, we have regulation versions which go right up to top professional level sport, but also we really embrace that any wall, any ball mentality. So if you want to get going, like you guys can play in the office right now against the door or something like that, it's absolutely fine. It's just getting people going.
I'm left-handed. Does that give me an advantage in wall ball, or can you use both hands during a game?
You do use both hands. It's ambidextrous game, but a left-hand one, there are fewer left-handed players out there, so you'll definitely throw people off.
Okay, that's good. And what about the glove? I'm a picture of a man wearing quite a nice looking sort of comfortable glove. Presumably there's all levels of glove. Can you play bare-hand? Is that a sort of maverick move?
No, a lot of people do play bare-handed. Gloves, if you moisturize your hands a lot, gloves are quite useful. It might take the sting out of it, but most of the kids that play it at the moment don't wear gloves. But at the top level, a glove can help you spin it a bit more as well. So it's useful, and it's really thin. It's just like a 1 layer thick leather glove.
And what's the ball made of? What's the kind of best way to describe the kind of weight of the ball and the sort of feel of it?
So it's a bouncy rubber ball. If you ever played racquetball, especially US racquetball, which is more bouncy than it is in the UK, it's that ball. So it's rubber, it's just smaller than a tennis ball, and it's the kind of ball where if you were to drop it from, your shoulder height, it would probably bounce up to your chest height. So it's pretty bouncy.
And how good are we? I've got the world rankings. It says Great Britain are 5th in the men and 7th in the women's game.
Yeah, so it's a bit like tennis insofar as, you play for your country in a team, but there's also a lot of individual play. So as a team, we do really well. So like you say, we're 5th in the world. As on an individual level, Luke Thompson is our GB captain. And as an individual player, he got the Grand Slam in the European Tour last year. He's won every single competition going, and he is one of the best players in the world. So I think we're pretty good at the moment.
And as a GP, one of the things, it's the health benefits. It's a simple sport to play. It gets people active, and you're very keen on promoting that as well as the sport, aren't you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, underneath all of this is, physical activity. And, we've seen loads of stories about health levels dropping off over COVID because people aren't really getting active. And part of that problem is, we've got to break down the barriers to get people active. And with Wallball, you just need a wall and a ball, and it's urban. As we lose green spaces every couple of weeks in the UK, the buildings are going up. So let's use those buildings to get people active.
And the balls are £1 each next to the walls as they're going up. They're sort of £1 each from a vending machine. So hopefully it will become a little bit more accessible as there's more places to play. And I think everybody likes a glove. We like an accessory, like a nice golf glove type thing. So how much is the glove going to set you back?
Well, the gloves we do for schools are about £7 to £10, but you can get some really fancy gloves as well. And like you say, the balls are just £1, so it's super easy.
So we should go. There is a website, isn't there? UK Wallball's got all the information.
Yeah, so ukwallball.co.uk. It's got information. It's got free training for you as well. And if you go on any social media, Instagram or Twitter, you can do it there. And if I might, guys, I might throw out a challenge as well, because as we're putting up these courts, what I would like to do, I will challenge any, both of you to start with, but also any top level sports person that wants to do this. I will play with just my left hand. And if I can beat you, you have to be an ambassador for us for a year. But if you beat me, I'll name the next court after you.
That's interesting.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Are you left-handed?
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
good. I was just checking. He could be trying to.
He could be all right. He
could be a cheat,
chance,
couldn't he? Absolutely. He's the best in the world.
Fantastic. Well,
okay.
Look, brilliant,
why
Daniel.
not?
Good stuff. Good to talk to you. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
There we are, Daniel Grant there, CEO of UK Wallball. It's great. A nice, simple game that you can play.
The Paul Hawksbee court.
That would buy, yeah. I'm not going to beat, let's be honest, I'm not going to beat Daniel, am I? Really? That's it. Even playing with his left hand.
Congratulations on now being an ambassador, Paul.
It is that Paul.